We're back on the Sportsman Zone and we're still talking track and field. Leighton Levy is still on the line, recapping the Lausanne Diamond League. We take a look at other major talking points from the meet today. Rasheed Broadbell continuing his fine form this season, winning the men's 110-meter hurdles in a new personal best, 12.99, ahead of the American Trey Cunningham and the world champion Grant Holloway. Geneve Russell and Anjanette Knight finished second and third, respectively, in the women's 400-meter hurdles behind the European record holder Femke Ball. It was the Yulimar Rojas and Shanika Ricketts show, as usual, in the women's triple jump, with the Venezuelan getting the better of the Jamaican there. And in the 100-meter hurdles, Olympic champion Jasmine Camacho Quinn from Puerto Rico finished ahead of the world champion Tomi Amasan, who had the American Tia Jones behind her in third. Still with us, as we said, Leighton Levy, to talk about the other half of our discussions in the Diamond League. And let's start with Rasheed Broadbell. You were anxious to talk about him, Leighton. And as we saw in Tokyo last year, when Hansel Parchment put pressure on Holloway, and Holloway was unable to fend off the pressure, it was pretty much deja vu today with Rasheed Broadbell delivering the big gun.
Listen, Broadbell, his last three hurdles are probably the best parts of his race. And one of the things that we saw earlier this year when he beat Holloway, and we saw it at the Olympics last year, when Holloway comes under pressure, he floats over those last three hurdles. He doesn't snap as quickly as the first seven. And I think, what we're seeing here is our glaring weakness that has been exposed primarily by the Jamaicans. First, Hansel Parchment, and I know Rasheed Broadbell, who has beaten him twice this season, coming from behind. And I think what we've seen from Rasheed Broadbell, 12.99, makes him the third Jamaican in the current era to have gone under 13 seconds behind Omar McLeod and, of course, Hansel Parchment. He is going to be something special going forward, because when you look at his race, if he can get the first 3 or 4 hurdles off his races right, he will be so fast because he closes like nobody else in the hurdles. And I think the victory today just further adds to the confidence that he's been getting, been building, I should say, since he won that Commonwealth title. And it makes me so, perplexed about what happened in Oregon, because had he hurdled like this in Oregon, he definitely would have been on the podium, possibly gold as well.
Yeah, and when you think about what happened with him last year, Leighton, because he had an injury just before the Olympic trials at the National Stadium in Kingston, and that scuppered his hopes of going to Tokyo. A lot of resilience in his personality to rally from what was a difficult 2021 season. Yeah,
he said he learned a lot from that experience. When I spoke with him at one of the meets in Jamaica earlier this year, where he ran 13:20, I think, or 13:22, he said that last year taught him a lot in terms of what he needed to do. He started to eat right, go to bed earlier, spend more time in the gym getting stronger, doing all the little things that makes him a better hurdler. And you saw that gradually this season, 13:20 at the national championships behind Hansel Parchment. He went to Oregon. There was a lot of expectation. He had some technical issues and, of course, just missed out on the final. But then rebounded, gradually getting better at the Commonwealth Games. 13.16 and then 13.08 it was, I think, new championship record. And then he's been just running faster and faster ever since, beating Holloway at the first Diamond League meeting, I think, after the Commonwealth Games. And, of course, again today, with a new personal best. Right now, he is our best hurdler. And when I say our, I mean in Jamaica here, because Hansel Parchment, notwithstanding what he's accomplished over the last couple of seasons in terms of time, Rasheed Broadbell is the fastest Jamaican over the last 2 years.
Yeah, and the other thing that I want to mention about him before we leave the sprint hurdles is, in every sport and in every competitor, Leighton, one of the biggest assets they can have, any athlete can have, is self-belief. And I just get the feeling that Rasheed Broadbell isn't short on that.
No, he's not short anymore, I can tell you that much. One of the things that I'm impressed with him about is the fact that he has a very short memory. And whatever his past failures were, they don't linger. He moves on to the next phase of his development, and he continues to improve. And, his mental capacity for that makes him an elite sprint hurdler. And, of course, clearly, whatever he's been doing without a Walcott is working for him in a very, very, very good way. And it's quite exciting in anticipating what we can expect from him next season and of course 2024 the Olympics. Because if he continues to progress along these lines, who knows what he'll do in 2 years' time, or even next year, as the teams prepare for Budapest. The depth of Jamaica's sprint hurdling is ridiculous right now. With the two mentioned before, of course, Orlando Bennett, and of course Omar McLeod to come back. There's so much depth right now, and Ronald Levy to come back from surgeries. So it's going to be quite exciting.
As you talk about the sprint hurdling, Leighton, a quick comment before we wrap this segment on the women's sprint hurdles today, because Amusan, who had looked unbeatable in recent months, toppled by the outstanding Puerto Rican and Olympic champion Jasmine Camacho Quinn today.
Jasmine Camacho Quinn has been the most consistent sprint hurdler in the world for the last 2 years. She had some issues with her foot going into the World Championships. She still ran 12:20. But Toby Amerson, I think, given what we saw her hit her peak at the World Championships, and of course coming back at the Commonwealth Games and winning again in another fast time, I think today maybe a little bit of fatigue factor talking there. And Jasmine Camacho Quinn, of course, pressure, having taken the necessary rest to get her situation sorted out.
Yeah.
Ran another fast time again today, but both of them I think are probably right now the two best sprint hurdlers in the world. Brittany Anderson had an average race and stumbled over the last hurdle, 12:59 for fifth, I think it was, but that just shows you the quality in her. But for Toby Amerson, a little bit of fatigue, I think, and for Jasmine, it's just her picking up back from where she's left off in terms of her consistency.
Yeah, we're going to leave it there. Leighton, the Brussels Diamond League is next. I think that comes up on the 2nd of September, and we're all looking forward to that as well.
As am I.
Okay.
Have a good evening, guys. Enjoy your weekends.
Okay, great. We go to break now. When we come back, we're inside the last half an hour of the Sports Max Zone on this Friday, and we are back after this.